そう遠くない未来、それぞれが自分こそ正しいと信じてやまない人類は醜い争いを繰り返し滅亡した。そして世界は偉大な AI によって管理されたロボットだけが暮らす平和な楽園となったのである。うわ、すげえな。
今度は SF 映画ってわけか。
みんなと同じであることこそ素晴らしい。人と違えば悪目立ちするだけだ。個性とは不要なものである。さっさと個性から引っ越せい。
そんなロボットたちだけの確一化された美しい世界で、ある日一つの個性が生まれてしまう。調和を乱し自己を主張する自分本位な悪の出現。このままではたった一つの個体のために世界の平和が乱されてしまう。果たして悪に見ようとした一個体は無事に個性を捨て去ることができるのか。あなたはその結末に涙する。
So, they're now really going ham with the whole individuality is bad theming, right? At this point, it almost feels like whoever's making these movies is getting really desperate. Oh wow, this isn't even voice acted, really? Yeah, you're telling me. It's somehow even worse than the other ones. Also, if you played a certain other Persona game, you might recognize the silhouette of the almighty AI overlord. And this is where things get really interesting for a lot of reasons. Here's the thing though, I feel like Futaba in particular could relate to this movie quite well. Yes, Hikari, please write your report on this movie. And she was doing so well after the previous movie. You know, this is actually really interesting because of, you know, what Teddy is, but that's Persona 4 spoilers. It's kind of one of the few Persona 4 spoilers that's not really public knowledge, so it's one I don't really like discussing in other videos, on spin-off specifically. Yeah, there's a Japanese saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. So the fact that this game is actually kind of tackling that is pretty bold. We don't really know Hikari's background. She could have been stuck in this mentality for a long time, and in that case, it is very hard to shift yourself out of that. So, we need to just give her time. I like how they acknowledge the plots of these movies are pretty crappy. Yeah! So, something that won't actually be apparent for a little while when they say the name in voice acting, this movie is actually pronounced A.I.G.I.S. Which is also kind of interesting because in Japanese, they usually spell her name Aigis. Which is probably what it was supposed to be, but I don't know, I guess A.I.G.I.S is a little more distinctive, and it prevents the Xenoblade, you know, accidental Xenoblade references, even though Persona 3 long predated Xenoblade 2. Yeah, oh wait, hang on. Yeah, no, they actually do put it out here. Yeah, it's A.I.G.I.S. Yeah. This movie's title is a parody of the film AI, Artificial Intelligence. I'd never actually seen that movie. The main movie, sci-fi movie about, like, AI and robots that I know of is I, Robot, which actually does have a plot very similar to this movie as well. I've heard that a lot of, like, actual hardcore, like, Isaac Asimov fans hate the I, Robot movie. I found it, like, just silly fun, personally. Like, it's not great, I'm not gonna admit that, but it's fun. Yes, Teddy! It's almost as if you were also friends with that robot a few months ago, or I don't know what timeline the P4 cast has been pulled in from, but yeah, recently, but you got your mind wiped. So this is actually kind of interesting because at the point in the P3 timeline this must be set, Aigis hasn't really truly awakened to her. It's not until she gets her upgraded persona, which is very late in Persona 3, that she does start to, like, fully, like, act human. So the fact that Kotone and the rest of Seas treat her as a human even before that is really nice. But yeah, first movie was Persona 5, second movie was Persona 4, and now the third movie is Persona 3. We're sensing a pattern. That means the fourth movie will tease Persona 6? Yeah, probably not. Yeah, so in the first one, we got a character from our world cast as a villain. In the second one, it was the, kinda tragic, sympathetic, misguided sort of protagonist. It's hard to describe what Yosuke Saurus is exactly. He kinda is the protagonist, but also he has his own, like, issues. He's kind of both the protagonist and antagonist of the movie at the same time. And this time, we've got somebody from Persona 3 cast into the role of the definite protagonist. In a way, the roles that are being casted are getting more and more sympathetic as we go through the films. Yes, we must get in there and make cuts. One of the few times that reshooting a film because it tested badly is a good thing. It always bothers me when movies are all like, oh, we had this movie and then it didn't test well with test audiences, so we're gonna spend millions of dollars to, like, reshoot the whole thing, when that money could probably be going towards alleviating poverty and stuff like that. Like, I get that art is important, but sometimes I do get a bit cynical about how much the big Hollywood movies cost, especially when reshoots are involved, because, again, a lot of that money could be going towards, you know, helping people in poverty. Plus, a lot of the time with, like, reshoots generally just make things work. Like, generally speaking, every movie I've heard of that had to have extensive reshoots after it focus tested badly was already a lost cause. Like, the first Suicide Squad movie, and, like, the original cut of Justice League was apparently like that. I think that happened with The Flash as well. Like, I have very rarely heard of a movie where reshoots actually improved it. Welcome back to Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. Last time, we beat up Elizabeth's brother to her approval and also did fishing. And now, it is time to enter the third labyrinth. But before that, I want to mention that I actually already did this, because the moment that you hit the theater, it instantly shows the cutscene for the next labyrinth, and I had to do that for the special screening. And now, sci-fi, the genre is, to nobody's surprise, A.I.G.I.S, and let me check my notes to see what everything here is weak to. Oh, that was kind of cool. And of course, he's motivated again. I guess I can keep him. He's not that over-leveled. I'm gonna switch the navigators over because Futaba has to be providing navigation for entering the sci-fi movie. And this is the rest of my squad. I've got Haru here because there is one thing that's weak to Sai, and there's something that's weak to Ice as well. We've also got Wind weak, so that's why Morgana's here, and Light and Dark weak, so we've got Naruto for that. And now prepare for some great music. The Labyrinths have already had pretty good music so far, but this one's one of my favorites. Also, the design of this labyrinth in general is just, yeah. The fact this place is like, kind of like one of the only ones to be like, I guess Kamoshida Man was like outdoors, and I guess Genetic Land was outdoors, but I mean, that was in a jungle. Like here, the walls of the labyrinth are like not like the full height of the screen, and we're inside a full city. Like, it's a really cool idea for a dungeon in one of these games. That's actually kind of funny, we're inside a living CGI world, yeah. Being inside a CGI movie would be weird. Uh-oh. Oh no, that's not good. So yeah, TK 0 through 8 and YS 0 through 7. And IW 00. So IW is Iwatodai, TK is Tokyo, and YS is Yasuo Inaba. Yes, everyone doesn't have a name, they have a number. Yeah, that's true. I was recently playing some F-Zero GX, and I really like the aesthetic of some of the tracks, especially like the more clean ones. I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh's interests in movies are very, very bizarre. Yeah, Yukiko is, she's got a lot of weird hobbies. In fact, so far she hasn't actually had any laughing fits, I just realized. Just yet more evidence that the characters in this game aren't really that exaggerated. I think people have totally disproved the idea of food pills. In fact, apparently even the original films that used the idea of food pills, like, it was treated as a joke or impractical. So yeah, post-humanity, I guess that's a little bit like the Matrix, except humans still exist there, they're just, you know, made into batteries. I will proudly admit I only ever saw the first Matrix, and that was probably a good thing. Although I've heard interesting things about the fourth one, like the new one, that it's like really meta about reboots and like sequels to like, you know that whole thing about how a lot of Hollywood franchises like, let's make a new sequel to a franchise that hasn't been on for 20 years. Whereas, like, apparently, like, the fourth Matrix is like a giant, like, deconstruction of that, which is kind of cool. Granted, the Wachowskis also did Jupiter Ascending, which is one of my favorite hilariously bad movies of all time, so they are hit and miss as directors. I think we've heard a full loop of the song already. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, Ard, you already have one simp after you. Please don't make it another one. I want to say that is actually the Japanese that, I was called it by a fan translation name, Verity Gavel uses for overruled, Kyakka. Back to the movie. The Mega Synthetic Beef Bowl! Akechi, you're not gonna say human, are you? Please don't say human. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. I know that, like, in Warhammer 40,000, there's, like, something called corpse starch, which is, like, yeah, there's a specific icon for the start point that's, like, you know, made out of actual corpses that get repurposed into, yeah, but that's an explicit dystopia. Also, hi there. Yeah, though we'll be seeing a lot of these symbols as we go around this place. Also, we're already detecting a chest. I love the fact that, like, I love the fact that I am discovering new things in the sense that, like, I never would have thought much of those, like, chest detection skills, and I'm already actually getting a lot of mileage out of them. Also, I love the way shortcuts look in this dungeon. Yeah, in general, there's a lot to like about this place. Yeah, that tunnel looks a little suspicious, but it's actually nothing to be, scared of. It's just a tunnel. Okay, first fight! What do we got here? Okay, so we have, 3 things here. We have flowing sand. Flowing sand is, weak to, bless. We have frivolous mire, which is weak to electricity and wind. And then we have the mark wheel, which is weak to ice. I'm pretty sure this thing was... No, wait, I think it was always strong against wind. We had to beat it with winds to get a conditional drop out of it in the first queue. I think for a quest, there's not like a ton that Haru can do, so I think she's just gonna whack that one. Weak to electricity, let's go for that. Weak to ice, let's just go for... I think I'll go for Bufu. And then you'll just go for a Mucka Jam. And then you will go for the... Oh, no, I'll just go for the Koha. If we get into a different battle, I can talk a little bit about... Because I've been promising to talk about how Hummer and Mudo got nerfed in this game for a long time, but I never really got the chance to, because I haven't really been using Hummer and Mudo very much. I like how they just hula hoop like that, although, since I played Soul Calibur recently, that doesn't remind me of Tira's weapon. Tira's in Soul Calibur 3, if you watch my stream of Soul Calibur 2, you wouldn't know about her, but she's fun. I kind of sum her up as, imagine if, Tharja from Fire Emblem Awakening was Yandere for Grima rather than Robin. That's basically Tira. She is literally Yandere for Soul Edge itself, as in the evil sword. She is in love with a sword, and it's hilarious. Did she just call him Oinari? Meanwhile, I am still not going for Hummer. I think the next time we fight these, I'll explain why I don't like to go for Hummer in this game. It basically relates to, like, how instant death odds are calculated. Please die. Nope, okay. Oh, that's kind of scary. It's probably going to die before it gets a chance to get that off, though, because I'm very boosted, unless that thing, like, does a... No, you're still going. In shot. Okay, that's just a single target. That's fine. Yeah, get rid of Naoto's boost would be not great. Okay, oh, I have Makoha on you. I guess because it's going to die anyway, I can try Hummer. And if it inevitably fails, I can explain why it probably fails. Or you can go first, because he's faster than Naoto for some reason. I may need to heal him. Okay, that's not a bad string of levels, but I like how I just cut off Rise squealing. And now we can see, yeah, this is only the first floor of this place. There are still only 4 floors in A.I.G.I.S. They're not going to ratchet that up yet, but these floors are big, and the last 2 floors of this place are a thing. The good news about this dungeon is, another reason why I think it's pretty cool, this dungeon, people get pedantic if I don't do the walls there, this dungeon actually does change aesthetic and music halfway through. In fact, both Dungeons 3 and 4 do this. Got a bit of a shortcut hub going here. I'm just kind of basking in this place right now. Let's go! Into a cutscene! Oh, I know what scene this is. It is not! Do not mistake it for a gun, or, you won't use it the appropriate way. It would be really funny if, like, you shot an evoker at, like, somebody, and they, like, it awakened a persona in them, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, you didn't know they were persona. Like, for example, if somebody, like, shot an evoker... You know what? Yeah. Like, if somebody shot an evoker at Akechi before he, like, revealed himself as a persona user, and then, like, Robin Hood got summoned, and he's like, oh, don't mind that happening. I totally didn't lie to you about when I got a persona or anything. Yes, and probably the only reason why C's can actually summon them in the real world. It is kind of cool how, like, C's is still, like, that anagram even in Japanese. Like, even though it's probably not, like, you know, written with those letters in Japanese, it was still always planned as Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad. I guess you guys should invest in a label maker and label your evokers. I feel like Junpei's probably losing his evoker all the time. But yeah, somebody in Persona 3 not having an evoker is gonna be a very bad thing. But yeah, I mean, granted, Yosei could still summon his Persona though. So it's definitely more of a threat to a Persona 3 person losing something like that. Granted though, the Persona 4 crew, they break tarot cards when they summon Personas. Do they actually carry those cards on them? I wonder if anybody else ever asked that question. I've only just thought about that now. Oh boy, being reunited with those companions. Ooh, that's gonna be a whole bunch of bios for me, but it'll be fun though. In fact, I'll actually feel kind of sad when the bios are over. Oh wow, okay. Icebane balance. That is actually... Is that... No, that is fine. Okay, that is fine. Because if you use Makoha, you use Ice, you can use Garu on the Maya, and you can use Fire on the Icebane balance. Just as long as nobody gets hit by a weakness. I think we're going, because, you know, considering that my fastest character is now moving, we should probably have this. I mean, it's kind of cool that Yusuke is actually being marginally okay right now. It's kind of sad that he's, like, the one bad character in this game, but, you know, if you level him up to be on par with the rest of the party, he can be decent. He was just behind earlier because, like, he's a terrible choice for the first boss fight. Kamoshida Man is not kind to anybody weak to fire. I mean, granted, like, Carrot Gun kind of one-shots you anyway, so maybe it's not actually that big a deal, but still. It is always satisfying when you get a whole bunch of axe guards in one turn. Oh, I guess I can try and Hummer it. And then I can give my tangent about why Hummer sucks in this game. Like, I still find Naoto decent. Like, if anything, Naoto is a little boring now, because all she really does is just hit hard with magic and, like, maybe use ailments. But you have to use that with a sub-persona. I feel like that always attack was a little bit delayed, but, like, before Naoto had that real instant kill specialty, and she still does, it's just, like... It's just that instant kill has been horrendously nerfed. Okay, it still died, though. But yeah, no all-out attack finisher. That is actually a downside of, oh, welcome back, Okuninushi. I actually kind of need you, because Sai. I don't have Sai on anybody besides Haru, because I got rid of all my Sai personas. Ah, Luck Talent. That's the better version of Luck Neck. Raises luck by 3. I kind of like everything else that you have, though, so maybe not. No Lucky Rabbit's Feet for you. Oh, Mahama, yeah. Perfect timing for me to talk about why instant death sucks in this game. I mean, it doesn't suck, it's just not amazing. And granted, it was broken in the first queue, so I can see why it got nerfed, but here's the thing. I don't actually think the nerf was all that intentional, because here's how it works. In the first Persona queue, the only thing that instant kill skills checked for was resistance to light or dark. Which makes sense, because in those games, light and dark were exclusively instant kills. So basically, whenever you use an instant kill skill, the game rolls the usual ailment odds, and then is like, and then it multiplied that chance by the enemy's light or dark resistance. And it could do that because bosses were immune to light and dark. Like, the boss instant kill immunity was handled via... Phantom Mage. Was handled via them being simply immune to light and dark. So that was the only immunity that was necessary. In this game, there are standard skills of the light and dark elements, and because of that, bosses and FOEs are not always immune to light and dark. That means there needs to be a different... Okay, hang on a second. What's the Phantom Mage weak to? Psy. And that's why I brought Haru. There we go. This means that there needs to be a separate instant kill, like standalone ailment resistance in this game. But what that means is that whenever you use an instant kill attack in Q2, it has to get past 2 different checks. It has to get past the enemy's instant death resistance and their bless or curse resistance. So it's effectively 2 rolls you need to beat in order to actually get the instant kill working. And that's a significantly less chance of success than the original Q, where all you needed to do was beat the enemy's light or dark resistance. It's like... I mean, this analogy won't be perfect because not everyone here plays Dungeons & Dragons, but, like, imagine that an enemy had to make 2 saving throws against an attack, and only if they failed both saving throws would the attack work. That's kind of like why the Contagion spell in D&D is kind of so bad, because, like, the enemy has, I believe the enemy has to save against that on, like, 5 separate turns before it goes into effect, which is just, like, that's never gonna happen in the span of an actual battle. But that's how it works in this game. So if I were to use my Hummer against that flowing sand, in fact, let's go over and check that in the data mine. Aha! Yeah, here's a perfect example. So even though the flowing sand has a 20% increased, like, has 120% damage from Bless, which means that it's got a 20% like higher odds of instant kill, it has 80% odds of instant death. Also, yep, Phantom Mages might not be as horrifying, but they can still hit hard. So I think that kind of averages out. So, like, firstly, it rolls for instant kill and multiplies that by 1.2, but then divides it by 0.8. In any case, instant kill is significantly worse than it was in Q1. That's the main takeaway. Okay, I think I actually have to use, No, I'll go for Yomi Return here. Oh, they're so close to both being down. Do you have any AoE attacks? None that aren't ailments. Okay. Well, at least one of them is going to die this turn. Unfortunately, it's not the Phantom Mage. I really shouldn't have underestimated this thing. It is, like I said, nowhere near as bad as in the first game, but it is still pretty dangerous. And Yusuke missed out on the experience. But oh well. Probably going to have to leave Morgana out of the party after this, because 25 is kind of as far as I want to be at this point. Yusuke, being KO'd, gets to eat. Gets to partake of the fried chicken. Well, actually, fried phoenix, but still. Yep. The thing is about to happen. The thing is indeed about to happen. Or Nurukumi's team. Yep, we got enemies. Let's, in fact, yeah, now's probably a good time, because we have a shortcut, to go back to the lobby and heal. Or we now get a cutscene. Oh, okay, I want to say this unlocks a special screening. This is a bit of an awkward time to get this, though. Because I'm gonna put off special screenings for a little bit, because we're gonna have some major plot coming up. Oh no, that would be the second time Yusuke's been poisoned this game. but also the second time that something that seems disgusting actually turned out to be delicious. I wonder if this actually gets, like, skipped if you do that event, because, you know, there'll be a gigantic thing that happens in the lobby after we do that event. Ah, we have run out of the popcorn. So yeah, this is definitely a special screening. It requires us to go back into Jurassic Land again, so yeah, hopefully the movie's changed a bit and the herbivores have actually found their paradise by now. It is kind of surreal seeing Rise, like, outside of her whole, like, you know, glowy avatar form. And yes, there we go, Theodore's special popcorn. Weirdly enough, this is the special screening that unlocks Akechi and Naoto's unison attack. But I actually just came back here to heal. And sell stuff. Oh, didn't make anything new out of that. Anything new now that I can go to level 28? Ganga, okay. Something that gets ailment arts naturally is nice, although I've already kind of spread that around. Wasn't Unicorn a Navigator persona in the first game? I could be thinking wrong, but something just... maybe I'm just thinking of Bicorn. I think I can afford to buy back Nigimitama. Because, like, if anything, I would just really like a Psy persona here. Resist, ailment arts, I guess. Bit of a hodgepodge set of skills, but, I need to make more magic personas. I have way too many Link personas. Says Hunter Unfortuna. Unfortunately, I cannot pass double and triple Link. Oh, but Guillotine Slice is very good with enemies with ailments. Though I really want, ambush arts on that. Unfortunately, nothing has ambush arts as like a sacrifice skill. The closest thing is there's a level 72 persona with ambush arts plus as its sacrifice skill. I've already had Red Rider, but I am not opposed to fusing Caladrius into it and then buying back Pele. For this, I decided, obviously Femc needs to be here, but I'd also get the other two protagonists in on the action. And here they are already! They wasted no time! Okay, I am not very familiar with Junpei's Japanese voice, but I am already loving it. Yeah, Shinjiro sounds about how I'd expect. So they call their enemies irregulars, or irregularities. Irregular is the Japanese name for Mavericks in Mega Man X. Yeah, of course, Ken calls himself Boku. Yeah, even in a different world, Fuka is still Fuka.
Okay.
I forgot how Koromaru's name tag is just dog. You might notice that, unlike our other groups, those ones are notably protagonistless. Let's move! Oh, you'd know exactly who we were if you kept our memories from the first queue, but sadly, not so much. Man, they never thought they'd really get a sequel to the first queue. I mean, I'm kind of impressed that Q even got a sequel to begin with. I can just hear that in Junpei's, like, English voice. So now we're dealing with UIY-XXXX. Lots of X's, 666, lots of X's, as my immortal would say. Being a robot, it's naturally weak to electricity. It is also slightly weak to all binds. In a way that makes sense, given how much they've given up their individuality. I guess in a way they're already bound. Oh wait, no, let's not Elect Strike Link. Let's instead have Femc do the linking, because she's way better at it. And you're gonna just whippity whip trip it. And you're gonna go for the... I guess I'll go for the Scarecrow. So yeah, she's gonna go first because of that link priority. I can't believe I actually... Oh, okay. It is vulnerable to knockdown. Should I go for it? I'm gonna actually relent for now. Unlike in the main Persona games, it usually is better to go for all-out attacks in most cases. There aren't a lot of enemies that, like, resist all-out attacks in this one. And you don't have those skills like in Persona 5 that do more damage with the baton pass. Oh, also, Araxa has told me that I actually was wrong about the way that Femc's resonance works. So, rather... Does that trigger links? Maybe the link was already over. Aiga just waddles up and tries to swat at you. But what I was saying was that, rather than every additional strike being increased in power by 15%, it actually adds 15 additional base damage to every extra hit. And that adds up to more than 15% in the long run. So yeah, it is probably going to go down soon, I'd estimate. Don't think I would have got the all-out attack finisher anyway. And yes, goodbye, UIY. A lot of people suspect that UIY, ironically, is short for Unique Identity. And we've got P3 portable music! I was wondering what they'd use for Persona 3, but yeah, of course, they're going for portable music. I may have said this earlier in the playthrough, but a lot of people do wonder whether I would play portable on the channel one day. I still feel like there's not, like, enough different to, like, really, like, justify a full playthrough, but maybe I could do, like, an analysis of all of the Femc social links, and maybe some of the Femc exclusive content. Like, I am interested to try and, like, do, like, the Doors of Time, I think it is. There are, like, harder versions of the Full Moon Shadows, and that sounds really cool, because not even Reload had that. And here's where things are going to get sad. Oh, Junpei, you have secret fans everywhere, and I'm one of them. Actually, no, I'm not really a secret fan of Junpei. You know, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Junpei placed in the top 3 of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Not just in video games, favorite fictional characters ever. Oh, and it's really sad that Shinjiro doesn't recognize her because he's like the most common ship for Femc. Aww. Yep, there's something not quite right here. However, they all do seem authentic. It doesn't seem like they're like fake robots or anything. Yeah, Aigis is pretty much a secret to most of the general public. Only those very close to C's would know about her. So, yeah, we'll be heading back to the theater now, and I think that's a good time to call this part, because next time, we're gonna have Bio Bonanza. So, I'll see you all next time when the mystery of why nobody recognizes FemC is solved.
そうだな。
Yes, we are not suspicious. We're not suspicious at all. Because the moment that you say that, yeah.
わかった。先輩。
そうだな。
Besides, he had the feeling that if we did turn out to be a threat to you, you would just straight up kill us because you're all insanely strong. Especially after reload buff, most of you. Leader, huh? Yeah, that's the discrepancy. Because you're supposed to be the leader, aren't you? Unfortunately, Persona 3 is one of the few parties where there are two potential leaders, and that makes things awkward. Oh, don't worry, everybody is confused. And I'll see you all next time.